These were the prototypes of the organizations that helped propel the modern civil rights movement.
Wow.
So what does SGA mean?
SGA stands for Supreme Grand Archon. He wasn't just a member of the organization. He was the leader, the national leader of the organization.
And he had the presence of mind to think like this on this level, not just locally, but nationally. I know that my great-grandfather left his wife and child, but now I want to find out why he would do such a thing. So I'm meeting with historian Don Doyle. I'm trying to find my great-grandfather.
Okay, this is a city directory from 1885, but let's see if we can't find...
These pages are as soft as butter. Brown. J. Lewis, SGA Knights of Wise Men. What is that?
Sounds to me like some kind of fraternal order, some kind of an organization.
It does. Like the Masons, or it wouldn't be a fraternity. Now you know what you've done. You've only stoked my curiosity. Because if we can go back this far, we got to go back some more.
We've got one more city directory. This is from 1880.
1880.
And so let's catch him just 5 years back, a little bit earlier, and see what we see. Now this one is
I'll let you
not only falling apart, it is apart.
Yes.
So let me see if I can...
Holy cow, it is a part.
John. Now here...
John L. Brown, editor of Knights of Wise Men.
So now, whatever SGA meant, we now know that he is an editor of something called the Knights of Wise Men. This tells you, just by the names here again, that he's involved. He must be literate. He's an editor.
I was going to say, he's the editor. This is a schooled guy.
Yes.
The Knights of Wise Men. We got to figure out what that's all about.
I think you need someone who's an expert more on fraternal organizations and who can help you on this more
very good
esoteric branch of history.
Good. All right. I'm on the hunt. It's so thrilling to learn that my great-grandfather was involved in such a mysterious organization. But just who are the Knights of Wise Men, and what on earth is an SGA? I'm meeting with an expert on African-American fraternal organizations to find out more. I'm in search of this SGA Knights of the Wise Men.
Well, I think I can help you with that. The Knights of the Wise Men. This was a fraternal order that also had a benefit for its members. The organization helped build bonds of community between African-American men. It was an institution that provided financial benefits to all of its members for sickness as well as in death.
So this is basically an insurance policy, or an insurance company, basically. So, to some degree.
It's the precursor of what we think of as modern insurance companies.
You are kidding me.
Remember, at this time, white organizations were completely separate and did not admit African Americans.
Oh, you kidding me?
The Knights of Wise Men was founded in 1879 to address the needs of the black community. For a brief period after the Civil War, African Americans participated in Southern government and implemented social reform. But they were soon pushed out by a white community that reversed the progress toward racial equality. Facing the future with few resources and virtually no public help, visionary leaders like J.L. Brown took action and created institutions to assist African Americans. The Knights of Wise Men became one of several national African American fraternal orders in the 19th century, and by 1882, the organization had grown to 278 lodges.
These were the prototypes of the organizations that helped propel the modern civil rights movement.
Wow. So what does SGA mean?
SGA stands for Supreme Grand Archon. He wasn't just a member of the organization. He was the leader, the national leader of the organization.
And he had the presence of mind to think like this on this level, not just locally, but nationally. That was not what I was expecting.
If you look at this, it will give you some hint of just how important he was.
Knights of the Wise Men, Rules, Laws, and Regulations, J.L. Brown, Supreme Archon.
He was not only the leader, but he wrote the rules, laws, and regulations of the order.
What?
J.L. Brown was at the forefront in building a significant institution to meet the needs of African Americans across the nation.
Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. So you have
we have more.
More. You're telling me from this you have more.
This is coming from the Daily Times in Chattanooga, Tennessee, from 1891. What this article informs us of is what's happened to the Knights of Wise Men.
Ah, very good. It says here, Chattanooga has the strongest lodge of wise men. Outside of this city, the organization has precipitously weakened since the smallpox epidemic of 1885, when the backbone of the wise men was broken by excessive drain upon the treasury.
What happened was the Knights of Wise Men had to pay out of their treasury these death benefits.
Exactly.
So as those death benefits mounted, the treasury was depleted.
It says the Knights of the Wise Men is in a quandary concerning the whereabouts of their Supreme Secretary Treasurer, S.R. Walker of Nashville. Walker, as Supreme Treasurer of the Wise Men of the United States, handled considerable money, but was not required to give bond or secure funds placed in his hands. So it means now, it is clear
The treasurer
ran off with the money.
That's right. So a little 6 years after the smallpox epidemic of 1885, we have S.R. Walker taking what's left in the treasury and leaving Nashville.
That was devastating. My great-grandfather, was he involved in this?
Interestingly enough, the account that we have does not implicate your great-grandfather.
Very good. So now what happened?
We see that the wise men, although they're still mentioned in books as late as 1915, it's no longer a nationwide organization. It's no longer this healthy, vital organization.
So now that explains, the marriage fell apart during this period. So it's understandable now in my head why the marriage fell apart, on top of the fact that the age difference, but also the business that he had established was now falling apart. And he was trying to spend as much time as he could, probably trying to resurrect this or to clear it up. And so it makes sense to me what his mindset was at that particular time. Thank you very much. You've been amazing.
Hey, I enjoyed it.
Appreciate it. My great-grandfather went from being, in my mind, maybe a scoundrel, all the way to being one of the pioneers of the civil rights movement. I mean, I'm extremely proud.